All right. So welcome everybody. Like I said, to the Uplink. I'm Jacob Swin, marketing manager with Nova Labs. Super excited to have Andy Doe here from Embedded Works. Andy, I don't know. I mean, it feels like I've only been here a year, but it feels like you've been around this stuff for a really long time and everyone kind of knows who you are in some capacity. So it's great to actually have you on the show now finally and get a chance to hear what you guys at Embedded Works are doing. So
Yeah, thanks for inviting me. Yeah, I've been around.
absolutely. So you guys consider yourselves, Andy actually gave me this graphic, the GC, and that stands for general contractor, not general counsel. Just want to clear that up.
Yeah, no legal
Live.
advice here today.
Exactly. No legal advice from Andy. Um, but yeah, so you guys have your hands in a lot of IoT pies, we should say. So I'm gonna do a quick little intro of Helium in case anyone isn't super aware of what Helium is, and then I'll hand things over to Andy to talk. But just to get started, Helium is a people-powered network. We talk about it as like the wireless revolution. It's built by the people for the people, so totally open source, decentralized decisions made by the community. Helium was founded originally back in 2013 with a mission to make it easier to build decentralized wireless networks. And I mean, we've built the largest decentralized wireless network in the world, and we've done this with a lot of help from some of the best VC firms in the world. So there's some listed here, not all, but we're super grateful to everyone who's helped us along the way to get to where we're at right now. So very exciting and very thankful for everything they've done for us. Just some stats here, and I did update this recently, so sometimes I can get a little out of date if I wait for like 2 hours before updating because we're still growing very quickly, but we were at a little over 921,000 hotspots, which, we're closing in on that magic 1 million number, which is exciting, in more than 70,000 cities and 182 countries around the world. So very cool to see. If you go to Helium Explorer, if you just type that in, you can see kind of the coverage map, and it's always cool to look at that and just see different hotspots popping up in different places, especially when new countries come on board, especially you see like one lone hotspot there and it's like, all right, that's awesome. A few of the kind of selling points for the Helium network and why some people choose to use Helium. And again, these are not comprehensive, but some of the major ones, just low data transfer costs. Kind of our standard example is for a device that sends data every 5 minutes, it costs around $1 per year. So very low cost of data transfer. It's accessible and easy to use. You can, with pretty much any compatible off-the-shelf LoRaWAN device, it's easy to get up and running on Helium console and start sending data. It's also like, because of these stats and because of that extensive coverage all over the world, you more often than not don't have to buy hardware, buy hotspots and things and get started. There's existing infrastructure already in place and the Helium coverage there. So you can just leverage that rather than paying to deploy more. And then finally, there's no costly or complex contracts. Like, you're not signing into anything. You're not, paying for overages, anything like that, stuff you may not use. You're paying just based on usage. So when you send data over the network, you're paying, and then that's it. So you're not locked into anything. Like Embedded Works just joined our ecosystem not that long ago. Our ecosystem is really growing quickly, and I mean, I can't fit everyone on here, but if you go to helium.com/ecosystem, you can see our ecosystem pages. I'm adding people to that every week, and it's really cool to see all the different applications, use cases, everything enabled by the network, and all the different cool things that people are thinking up. A lot of creative people like Andy, some things you're going to talk about, stuff that I didn't think would be possible really when I started here. And you just see all these really cool applications, all kinds of asset tracking, you know, pet tracking. I'm blanking on so many things because there's too many to think about right now.
Yeah, exactly.
But Andy, I mean, you're tracking like food trucks, you're doing, personal safety things, stuff like that. So all kinds of different things enabled by the network, and you can see more on our ecosystem page. And we just have some exciting updates. We've done announcements about these things if you follow us on social, if you're in our Discord and stuff like that. But we did Helium House in Austin, our first live in-person event in, God knows how long. I mean, since before I started with the company, but it was really cool. We got to be able to see community members in person. We got to meet people face to face. If you only talk to them on Discord, we had a whole day of like programming and showing off IoT use cases and some announcements. So we're doing that again. We're running it back. It was really popular. We're coming to New York City, September 20th. So you can just find that if you just Google Helium House, it comes up to our landing page there. But actually, Andy, you guys are going to be there doing something. We're not totally sure what yet, but you're going to show stuff off, maybe speak. So if anyone wants to come hang out with Andy and me in New York.
Yeah, I missed the first one, so can't wait to go to New York for the second one. So Helium House.
Yeah, Austin was like 130 degrees. So I think New York will be a little more comfortable. Today is actually a pretty big day this week, mobile. So 5G, the mobile token we're anticipating it launching today.
Today, wow. Okay.
That's the plan as last I heard. Yeah, so very exciting stuff going on with 5G. So make sure you follow along on social and Discord. Check it out. You can go to our website and there's the cellular summer page. There's some updates for that, but very excited. We announced 5G like over a year ago now. So really pumped to have it finally rolling out and everything getting going and start building out that network like we have with the IoT network. And then, like I said, along with Embedded Works, I've done a number of these, probably like one a week episodes with new ecosystem members. We've done Skiply, we've done SenseGreen, we've done Nibia, lots of different people. So you can go back and find those on YouTube, check it out. And then, like I said, look on our ecosystem page for those things. Andy, I think that's kind of my spiel. We'll do some Q&A at the end. So if you have any questions for Andy during this, just drop them in the chat. Yeah. But otherwise, I'm going to stop sharing, Andy, and I'm going to hand these over to you.
Yeah.
And let you do your thing.
Thank you for that intro. Yeah, can't wait for the million miner march, right? It's just around the corner. So yeah, it is amazing how
gotta plan something cool for that.
I know. Yeah, right. That should be a t-shirt. Exactly. Or you guys should give like a gold bar or something to the guy who has the millionth miner active. Like, yeah, I'm sure we could find that.
You should join our marketing team, Andy.
There you go. All right, let me do a screen share. Hello, everyone. Really honored to be here. Let me see if I could do this right here and put it in presentation mode. Okay, and let me see here. Let me get this right back. Okay, I think I'm it. And let me know if you guys see a slide.
All good.
All good. All right. Hello, everyone. I'm Andy Doe, president of Embedded Works. Very stoked to be here at the Uplink episode 811, and also the day that the mobile token will have its genesis moment. So that's a double whammy. So let me get started in terms of who we are, what we do, how we do it, and then what is this GC of IoT you're talking about? So let me start here. So first of all, give you a company background, our evolution, where we've been and how we've got to where we are. So we started out as a distributor of embedded wireless components. So these are the radio module components for all the buzzword standards that most of us know. Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, Zigbee, GPS. We've been involved in that for quite a long time. And that was how we kind of made our wireless bones, if you will, and really get under the hood to help people design and build M2M, back then, machine to machine, now called IoT, devices. And then version 2.0 of our company, we got into the data business because in the past, most of the SIMs were for consumer devices, smartphones and tablets. But then there's a need to have IoT size or IoT byte size, like if you need a 100 kilobyte plan or something like that. So we got into that over a decade ago. And once we figured out what data cost and in terms of the understanding of building and helping people build products, we went into the realm of asset tracking. So we launched a value play called trackingforless.com. And the name is what it is basically we are a value play for all things tracking. And then from there, 4.0, we launched our sensor solutions because we said, heck, we want to know where things are at, but how about how things are doing, temperature, humidity, door open, close. So sensorworks.net was born in the IoT edges. And so with that, I can go into what we do there. And then finally, I'm excited about this whole 5.0 that we're at, where we're a builder of IoT solutions, and we are taking our know-how from tracking sensors and really in enveloping that around the Helium network. And it has so many benefits that I want to talk about today. And if you guys have questions, by the way, please put it in the chat. I want this to be very interactive, and like to really understand what problems you guys are facing or challenges for IoT. So for us, just real quickly about our brands, you probably saw a lot of work. There's sensor work and tracking for less and Wi-Fi works. And yeah, we believe in brands because we really separate in terms of the focus and what we do. So our TFL brand, as affectionately known in the industry for tracking for less, is a universal tracking platform that supports consumer and enterprise applications, along with a multitude of IoT technologies. And what that means, in short, is our platform can ingest almost any type of tracking data and technology, whether it be LoRaWAN, cellular, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi. We're kind of a centralized platform to be able to have all these devices, and every technology has its pros and cons, of course. And SensorWorks, we are a general purpose, I call it sensors as a service, could be other type of SaaS platform to utilize IoT to solve everyday problems in consumer and commercial applications. So with that, let me get right into our first brand. Or actually, let me get into the general contractor of IoT. And I like to use that term because we, like a general contractor, we will help you build the house that you need in order to get your IoT house built. And what does it mean to be a contractor? So in my mind, three things need to happen. One, you got to be licensed. So founded in 2004, we're here in Silicon Valley. We're authorized distributor of some of the world's leading manufacturers across the technologies I mentioned earlier. Number two, you got to have skill. So our DNA is we have strong RF and wireless module level experience and expertise. So if you wanted to build an IoT widget, we would help you with that soup to nuts. We'd give you the radio module, help you with device drivers integration if you need it, certification, antenna consultation, etc. And we are an early provider of M2M, machine to machine, for those who are out there that remember the M2M days pre-IoT. And our team, really experienced folks. Average sales engineer here is 15 years of experience within the wireless and networking space. We are GPS tracking specialists, we're sensor specialists, and then we are also public internet management specialists, which is our Wi-Fi Works brand, but may not be as relevant here. And then finally, you got to have tools, right, as a general contractor. So we provide, as I mentioned, soup to nuts from a component, modules, routers, accessories, and antennas. So if you want to build it or buy it, we will get that to you. We're a connectivity provider, as I mentioned. We do offer beyond technical support, but consultative sales and integration. And then finally, we do some software development. So if you have a product, you say, hey, Andy, this product here would be really cool on your platform. I need a platform. Challenge us, talk to us. We'll make sure to do our best to get you the complete IoT platform portfolio. So let's start with tracking. And I hope you don't mind, but I took this graph from the Helium report that went out, the 2021 Insight State of the Asset Tracking Report. And I thought it was cool that they did a poll to see what were some of the main drivers for tracking. And the number one in 2021 was to help prevent loss and theft. And then probably second is the enhanced operational efficiency and the optimized product lifecycle. And so that really is in parallel to what we have seen as well in terms of our customer base. And to the left, I put down some of the trends that I have seen in the past maybe 3 years or two and a half years, where in pre-pandemic, a lot of the tracking was vehicles, ride bike sharing, and scooters, leisure rentals, shipping, cargo, et cetera. But during pandemic, the need for tracking kind of went tangentially to the stuff that's kind of the remote and delivery service, right? Fast food delivery, grocery delivery, PPE tracking, vaccine. And so all of that kind of took off, where it was kind of this nascent kind of thing. And then all of a sudden, when the pandemic hit, it became a thing. And personally, I think Uber, when no one was taking an Uber during the pandemic, they had Uber Eats. And I really think that helped their bottom line a lot. So good for them to have a tangential business doing that. And when, just of all the customers and that we've helped for tracking, this is one of my favorite. And the reason is it's just, it's a family run business. And they, at the end of the day, they are a food truck that sells really good ice cream. In fact, there's considered one of the #1 ice cream in New Jersey. So if you know the area, if you know the guy, give him a shout out. But he's got over 3,500 Facebook followers. And the food truck industry itself, 35,000 food trucks in the US, 40,000 people employed in that industry, and it's a 1.2 billion TAM. Right. So it's a huge industry, and food trucks to me are, restaurants on wheels. Why can't they use technology and use IoT as well? So there was a problem that the owner wanted to solve. And the foodies, the fans really wanted to know when and where the trucks are located without the owner having to constantly update his fan base. You've seen kind of Facebook, I'm here, I'm going to be here at this time, I'm going to be here at that time. He doesn't have to do that anymore. And so what we've done is we've given him a tracking device, and we've given him a device where we have a permanent URL, no mobile app required. And he just puts that on his site, and everybody knows where he is at any given time. But the owner also wanted privacy, so his vehicles could not be located outside business hours or within a multi-mile radius of his home. So, I think he goes to like 1 a.m. or something, but after that, he's going home. And he does not want people to know where his home is. So we did a kind of a reverse geofence where it disappears in a multi-mile radius. And that's some of his ice cream there, and some screenshots of him in the Jersey Shore area. Companies called Monster Cone. Check them out. And other IoT add-ons that are possible with food truck industry. I want to get you guys thinking about, there's beyond location, there's smoke, CO2 detection, water leak detection, because, that is a big deal because they are mobile restaurants. Then, with ice cream, you want freezer temperature monitoring. And then finally, these trucks have to have constant maintenance, right? They put a lot of mileage on it. So we have a ability on our platform to give you repair and maintenance reminders, like every 3,000 miles, change your car oil, every 50, 100,000, transmission, whatever it may be. And that's one less thing that the owner has to worry about. So beyond just where's my stuff, it's how's my stuff doing, right? How's my vehicle doing?
Hey, Andy, just a quick question. Like, I live on the West Coast, and we have a ton of food trucks where I'm at, it's a huge thing over on the West, everywhere, but the West Coast especially. Have you had interest from other vendors, other food truck owners and things like that, like based on this use case at all?
Yeah, we are doing a campaign now. We haven't driven it. We're in our case, we're very reactive. So we have customers coming to us for projects, but this has been so successful that will be a driving campaign, and we actually, I think we own the domain grubtrucks.com or something like that. So so we're yet another brand, right? You heard it here. So we are definitely doing a bundle for that. And I know in the area, which I have family up in the Portland area, for example, I mean, there's food trucks everywhere, and some of them are permanent food trucks, right? Yeah. This is going to be a strong thing, and the Helium network is awesome for this, right? Because it's predominantly in city areas. There's coverage abound, and the cost compared to cellular is just tens of magnitude lower. So for us, we think this is an opportunity and a vertical that the Helium network really needs to jump on. And I encourage those out there who have food truck business owner acquaintances to see if they can look into something like this. So, but we're definitely there's 35,000 food trucks out there.
I don't know. I think 20,000 of them are on our side of the coast too.
You're not wrong. Yeah, I think I read somewhere California has the most food trucks, and then followed by Texas. I think I read somewhere. Yeah,
I believe it. Yeah.
And let me see here. So then, beyond trucks, the other thing that is happening and people are asking for is this kind of indoor-outdoor tracking. So everybody's heard of a GPS tracker, right? And with that, you need GPS, and GPS works great outdoors. But if you're not, and if you have situations like you are in an urban canyon between two skyscrapers in New York City downtown, your GPS can get distorted due to multipath, or this concept of urban canyon, and it's not effective indoor or multi-floor buildings. and it actually requires a lot more processing and battery drain. So I'm excited that we work with our partner at CodePoint here, who has a Wi-Fi Helium-enabled badge, which we've onboarded to our platform. So this badge looks like a regular, kind of employee ID badge, but it's on steroids, right? And so what does it do? It has the ability to sniff the Wi-Fi and then send it up to the Helium network. And why is that cool? So remember when Google was mapping the world, right? And they were basically, doing the street map, but at the same time, they're also sniffing all the Wi-Fi, right? And so if you knew that the Wi-Fi was at this street corner, you could kind of correlate that to a database. So that's what we have done, is we have taken that database information and used that mapping correlation. So if you were in a mall, or you, for example, were like recently, I tested this in Las Vegas Strip. I went around and used this badge into all the hotels, and I was able to see myself traversing inside, all the different hotels. So it's an awesome product when you can't rely on GPS. And what makes it on steroids is it has alert and panic buttons. Right. So, and this is a use case where, if you can imagine, the student faculty safety kind of, endeavor where, there's something going on the school, a faculty member can press the SOS, for example, here, gets alerted, and then you could program that to send to the principal, to security, what have you. Or if a child is on a field trip, you kind of know when and where they are, or down to the case where down to the room, if you have the access point registered with us. And thirdly,
Andy, real fast, sorry, just on that point.
Yeah.
Have you worked with any college campuses or anything for that? I know, that was something when I started, it was like, hey, I've just gotten out of a grad program. It's like, I can see so many applications for this on campuses, but there's so much like red tape, and they move so slowly a lot of the time. I'm just had success, like, integrating with them.
Yeah, I could share with you a Christian college that we're working with. They recently got accredited. And as part of that, I think there's some sort of mandate that they had to know where the students are at any given time. And in the past, they've looked at Bluetooth and RFID tags, but then they had all these kiosks everywhere. It was just, and then sometimes the kiosks didn't work. So they are looking at this as a way to really track the students. And sometimes it's also a way to kind of, to make sure that you're allowed access into the building. So we're working with one university, and they're testing it as we speak. And the good news is that there's helium coverage nearby. They really don't need to have it. But I recommended them to put one for areas that, coverage might be a little shoddy based on, because it's a pretty decent sized campus. So yes, this is a huge, market that I think traditional badges, have some holes where I think the helium based Wi-Fi tracking doesn't. And every college has got Wi-Fi. So it's just a matter of jumping on, using those as markers. Good question. And the long range nature of it, right? And I love the other fact is that this thing is rechargeable. So you see these three contacts. It's a magnetic recharger, USB, kind of charger, and this thing lasts a really long time. So you can have a button for SOS, a button for check-in, like, hey, I'm here, check. So there's all sorts of things that we can do, other applications are for cleaning service, maid service, in hotel staff. Some of you may know about the mandate where some states are requiring that the hotel workers have a panic button type of device. This one I think is a unique product in the market, where it uses the best of two technologies. And then now going on and, for tracking, just to one last thing, we have lots of other tracking devices. I encourage you to contact us to see if there's a form factor that you would need for that, other than just the Wi-Fi base. We do have GPS traditional tracking as well. So for sensor applications, there's just too much to talk about, right? There's all sorts of sensors. There's probably more sensors than there are people. And with that, I just chose a few that we have come across. And SensorWorks, we have a platform and a hundreds of different types of sensor devices that work on LoRaWAN and also work on Helium to do that. So I'm going to go over some of the ones that stand out for me in terms of sensor applications. See here. So this one here, we are actually going to be releasing this Helium Home Kit. And, I say more of like the eat your own dog food kind of thing, meaning that a lot of us have miners. I have one. And basically the signal is there to be able to do something with it, right? And if you are working from home or you're thinking about doing a smart home, why not retrofit it on the Helium network? The network's already there. So we have all of these sensors. So I call this the honey, did you do list? Right? Honey, did you close the back door? Did you close the bedroom window? Is the garage still open? Is the refrigerator open? Is the washing machine running? Is the pipe leaking? Is the freezer working? Is there anything in the mailbox? Yeah, we could do that too. So all the sensors that we offer and our customers who have these businesses where it's either helping them make money or helping them save money. Right. And this is where the sensor. So if you happen to live in an area in the hexagon there that there's a helium signal, you just really need to get these sensors and you're done. Right. And assuming you have a subscription. If you don't live in the hexagon where the helium's coverage, then you put a miner and that will allow you, of course, to have a signal that you can use on your property. Right. So we're excited that, there's going to be this Helium Home Kit concept because there's just a lot of things. And, there really isn't a sensor standard. And what we're hoping to do is that have the Helium LoRaWAN be that home standard.
Hey, Andy, real fast, a lot of people who, would use these types of things, to keep their home safe or like you said, just monitor everything. A lot of them may not be like IoT enthusiasts or hobbyists, like, they don't know anything about IoT. Are these sensors very plug and play? Like you said, it's just, easy to use. Are they simple? Like just, how hard is it to get up and running with them? If like, say, I don't know anything about IoT, but
super easy. Basically, you would get a kit, and then on that kit, you download the mobile app. And then from there's a barcode that you would scan and it would recognize that. And then you would, get a login and you would be able to see your temperature monitor, via a graph or whatnot. You could do that via a dashboard or the mobile app. So it's meant to be, kind of checkout easy, right? Yeah, and that's what it has to be because the part of IoT I think is very difficult. Is there's too many steps or too many cooks in the kitchen in order to make that work. And we're working really hard. And shout out to Larry on our team who has done a lot of the vetting and onboarding to make sure that it's open the box, scan, and go. So that's what we're aiming for.
Awesome.
Yeah. And then, another sensor application that is cool that we've helped one of our customers. So, for example, fuel tank level monitoring. So this graph are taken from Google Map of our customer's property here. You'll see there's a propane tank, there's diesel and gas tanks, and there's a lot of equipment, a lot of machinery on a farm. Right, there's tractors, there's haulers, there's all sorts of things, and you can't run down to the Chevron, to get when you're in the middle of a farm country. So you got to kind of be your own gas station, right? And so with that, they need to know what the fuel levels are, right? So what they've done is they put these ultrasonic level sensors here. And with the level sensors, this will allow them to basically, plan out their month and their fuel consumption. And these are some screenshots of the graphs that we have, and from these silos. And we found that other silos out there are needing the same technology, whether you're storing grains or livestock feed, cement, sand, wood chips, because who has the time to go to the top and look down to see if it's still full or not, right? So that's where this is really amazing. And if you have the helium coverage here, you're literally putting one of these, or two of these, excuse me, into the silo, and it will let you know based on a distance or level, how full your bin is, right? And that's something that we've already have several installations already. And then on top of that, at a farm, you want to know maybe if you're planting some sort of crop, you've got soil moisture. So our friends at Seed Technology have a great little soil moisture sensor here. and or want to do remote sprinkler. So only turn on the water when there's a certain level that you need, so you're not wasting that resource. And then equipment tracking, of course, is what I mentioned. So turning a farm into a smart farm in agriculture is something that I think is a market that really needs to be looked at a little bit deeper.
Hey, Andy, real fast, your buddy Patrick, you said to watch out for some of his questions in here, but he had a question for you guys that I think is pretty relevant right now. He's asking, when customers purchase these sensors and solutions, whose console are they connecting to? Are you running your own version of console, or what?
Yeah, we're running our own version of console. And with that, so we have a tracking platforming with sensor platform. We don't have them connected, because a tracking platform is more looking outward, and we're not in the building. And we're, as a sensor platform, it's not giving you location. So if you had a platform, or you had a need where you needed to track your vehicle and you needed to know the silos, you would have two different logins. So unfortunately that's how we do it, and that's kind of the best way where we can graphically put it together.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And then just following up on this slide too, James asked if there's some examples of LoRaWAN sprinkler controllers that you've seen.
I think I'll have to defer that to some folks on my team, what we have in sprinkler controller. But I mean, a sprinkler controller sometimes is just an on-off switch. So we do have a lot of on-off switches in the LoRaWAN. And as you know, LoRaWAN is great for Uplink in the Uplink episode, right? It's check in. So when you need to on off, there are some challenges that you would have to kind of adhere with from the downlink side, right? So if it's not mission critical, like turn it off when you get the next downlink cycle. But if you need to immediately turn it off, or on, that's something where you would have to kind of talk to us and how we can kind of get a prioritization level. And we run, I don't know if we answered Patrick's question from a console, we have our own Helium console, right? So all that data goes in through our Helium console.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay. And then, I just put down a couple of things that we have run across from a sensor side, restaurant and kitchen, the typical stuff, temp, humidity. I won't spend any time on this. Hospitality, of course, we talked about that earlier, smoke detection, and then commercial refrigeration. I pulled a couple of compliance things that, we have some customers, like we have one customer in the East Coast who has a chain of convenience stores. And they need to know when, how many times that freezer door was open, what the temperature is, and the frozen foods, and all that. So for them, compliance is a big deal, and they have a multi-state chain that we're helping them with. But in terms of like if violation wise, I pulled some data. Like for example, in 2016, Trader Joe's was fined $500,000 by the EPA for failing to properly monitor the refrigeration system, which led to undetected leaks that violated the Clean Air Act. So it's kind of like 2 degrees removed, but still you want to catch it before that fine hits you. And then in 2018, a 7-Eleven in Victoria, Texas, received 23 demerit points from the Victoria County Public Health for regulation violations, including improper cold hold temperatures. So that, and then you have, some of the health and medical, storage. So, we've got customers today who have these refrigerations off campus or off site from the hospital. And of course, the medicine isn't cheap. So they need to know when that temperature changes to the slightest. And, by doing something like this, on the LoRaWAN network, Helium network, that's something that, they can monitor. Yeah. Okay. And then this is our public hotspot management, may not be relevant, but we've done, public hotspots for different venues for safe surfing, in case anyone there. Okay. So with that, I'm going to move into this phase where I'm really excited about in terms of this 5G miner. So about a year ago, we started getting into the off-grid kitting of the miners for solar and LTE, and that's one of the pictures of one of the kits we put together. Because what do you do when there's no power, and what do you do when there's no internet? So we say no problem. And what we've done is we've kitted together a enclosure along with a solar panel and antennas, and that would allow us to have truly an off-grid kit. And we've had a couple folks put it on rooftops, even though, it's a rooftop where's electricity, it should be there. Well, a lot of times the property owners don't want you to touch, or drill anything onto their roofs, right? So you're on your own. And so we have some enterprising customers who said, okay, I'm going to mine and I'm going to put this network and I'll do it on my own terms. So that's how you do that. And if you have a low transmit scale, and you can kind of look at the Helium map, and that's what we do, and we're excited to release that. So with the 5G, coming and starting today, and I know there's already 5G miners being deployed, our second act is that we are coming out with our 5G miner outdoor kit. So this is coming soon. We are getting it together. And with that, you can get from us the Bobcat, Bobber 500, which is a multi-token miner. So it does the mobile, the HNT, the IoT, all powered by Freedom 5, by the way. And Moso Labs, great company that can provide the CBRS small cell, where there's the indoor and outdoor version. So whether you get a combination of a mix of multiple indoor or outdoor, with that, we're going to be able to have this complete kit. And with the icon here, the Mobob works. So thank you, Ann, for presenting that. But yeah, we're excited of this three-way partnership to have the miner, the small cell, and the kit together. So it really would be a kind of a single SKU to get someone up and running. And just as a reminder, if you do the indoor, I think it's earnings are 1x. Earnings of the mobile token, but if you do the outdoor, I think it's 2.5x. So there's a motivation there to do the outdoor, or if permitting your situation, maybe you want to do multiple indoors. So that's something we're excited about, to start release, and we can't wait to see the second coming, or the second act of Helium. And then with that, I thank you, everyone. I look forward to some questions. And if you want to connect with me, there's my contact, and some of the brands, you're welcome to go on the website. So yeah, we're excited.
Awesome. Thank you, Andy. You can leave that slide up for a minute.
Okay. Yeah.
Taking that that contact info. I had a couple questions for you.
Sure.
And then if the audience has any questions, people have been good about dropping in the chat already. But
yeah.
Just kind of general, I mean, you probably could have spoken for like 5 hours with all the different things you guys do in IoT, so you're a pretty good resource for this stuff. Like, are there certain trends that you see IoT kind of shifting towards, or just major trends, especially newer ones, I guess, that, people working in IoT should really be looking at?
Yeah. IoT, although it's only 3 letters, it's complex, right? There's just many moving parts to it. And, one of the trends is to really to monitor everything from your phone, right? And you want to be able to especially monitor the properties that you own, right? So I know friends who own, properties, so they Airbnb it out, and they want to know how their property is doing without having to go drive out there, right? And sometimes having a network, just to get all that together, if the Wi-Fi is kludgy or something goes wrong, but if the Helium network is there, they just need to register it and then put these sensors around so they can monitor their property, right? And without being too, spying on their guests. So, I think the Airbnb kind of VRBO kind of market is really hot for IoT, for efficiency and cost savings.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Jim from the chat has a question here. Do you think the best opportunities are in mining or in system level IoT solutions?
Boy, well, I think system level, has the most opportunity, but it has the hardest time for adoption, right? Because there's unlimited things you can integrate, and that right now is what we're trying to do. Is we're trying to educate the market that there's lots and lots of sensors that can help save or make money, and I have to really provide the products to make it easy for you, for customers. From a mining perspective, I think everyone has seen the curve from the LoRaWAN helium mining curve, and I've said this many times. What Helium has done is phenomenal. I mean, they've built a network carrier-like in terms of mobile carrier. What took them 30 years, and Helium did it in almost 3. Right, so it's amazing that the coverage and the cost to jump on the network is just so low that it becomes negligible almost, right? And then it becomes like, okay, how good is the sensor and how good is the platform that I'm using for. From a mining perspective, we'll wait and see, right? Today is the first day of hopefully the 5G genesis, and if 5G comes out, booming like the LoRaWAN, and people really are on board, you'll see lots and lots of applications for that. And I already have some ideas on what that Helium 5G network could do for the public.
Well, that was kind of my next question. So that's a perfect segue into that. Like, where do you see Helium 5G, just, from your perspective in the future? What do you excited about? Yeah.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, CBRS is a BYOT, bring your own tower, network, right? And if there's one thing that's constant from a utility perspective, it's your internet bill. Right, so your electricity, your gas, your water, it's based on usage. So it goes up and down monthly, but your internet bill for the most part stays the same. So when you're not using your internet, then that becomes a resource that should be maximized. So imagine, if you had a CBRS enabled laptop or a tablet, and you're sitting at a park too far from any Wi-Fi, and there happens to be a CBRS 5G miner, and you want to jump onto that. Right. Well, there you go. Right. You can jump on that, and there should be some rewards token for the owner of that miner to have that usage and consumption, and the guy at the park gets to jump on the internet, and at a fraction of the cost, hopefully, of what he would normally pay with a cellular data plan, a traditional cellular data plan. So yeah, I see that as a possibility, and as the CBRS network gets bigger and bigger, there's a lot of things that can happen, because you've got the slow speed LoRaWAN, right, and you've got the high speed CBRS. So there's use cases in both situations. You're not going to surf the internet with a sensor, but you're going to surf the internet with something of a laptop or a USB dongle or something. So.
Yeah, no, super excited to see how that 5G network rolls out and all the different things enabled by it. I mentioned at the beginning, kind of during my talk, Andy, you are going to be at Helium House, New York City, and we've talked a little bit, you and I, about like things to maybe showcase a little bit, like if you're on a panel speaking. Do you have anything you can kind of tease if people are going to be at NYC and they want to get an idea of things you might show? You don't have to have a concrete idea now, but just some things floating around in your head.
I've been thinking about that, and I thank you for the invite. I mean, I'm going to be in New York, and kind of make it a slash vacay out of it. So I will be doing the touristy things, and I'm going to probably take some of the LoRaWAN trackers with me, and I'm going to have that public and say, hey, this is where I've been, right, and really test out the network. Right. And so for me, kind of the term eat your own dog food kind of thing. Right. We're going to go out and test this product, and then hopefully there's a display that we can show people how it works. But yeah, we want to do kind of a big bang also with the 5G miner to just show people like how we put this together, and all the moving parts. And with that, with the 5G part of it I didn't mention is that we will have a national installation and installer network. So some folks aren't too comfortable getting on their roof, and that's a liability for some folks. So, and since we are in the tracking business, we know a lot of folks who are doing fleet installs. So we're going to leverage some of that know-how and be able to have installation services for those folks who just want to buy it and order it and just get it done.
Gotcha. Awesome. All right. Thank you, Andy. I'm going to pull up one slide here just from me with some contact info. You can see that Q&A slide right there.
Yep.
Perfect. All right. So if anyone wants to get in touch with me or anyone on the Nova team, there's some contact info there. Just Jacob at Nova. Mark at Nova is also our VP of Biz Dev, and he's a super knowledgeable guy to talk to. Jump on GitHub, Twitter, Discord, follow us for socials, for updates. You can help contribute. Like, it's all open source, like I said, on GitHub. And then just stay tuned for more ecosystem members and more from Andy and Embedded Works. I mean, we're working together on quite a few things, Andy. So super excited to see what we're doing in the future with you guys. So I just want to thank you for coming on, for doing
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. That was awesome. And thank you everyone for tuning in. Andy, you have any last minute things before I sign off here?
No, I just encourage the community who's already the fanboys and fangirls of Helium to now start using it. Think about what it is that's your pain point, your honey-do list, right? And IoTize it. Put IoT to it. So that's my one thing that I hope the community absorbs more.
Perfect. I love that. All right. Well, again, thank you everyone for being here, and we will see you next time on the Uplink.
Great.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.